Alas,
Huh. Hello, I'm Dr. Naomi Paxton, and for the past 8 years I've been researching the Actresses Franchise League, who are the theatre wing of the suffrage movement. One of the things I found most inspiring about the Actresses Franchise League were how many prominent Edwardian men were involved in the movement who were passionate about feminism, including the two first equity presidents, Godfrey Turle and Lewis Casson. Oh, yes, I have been since I was 18.
Since you're 18?
Yeah.
So
19, as a junior.
Yeah.
I love theatre, I'm passionate about theatre, and I'm passionate about the actors and performers and writers and directors and backstage teams and everybody who goes into making theatre and to telling stories. And I think it's really important that all those people are represented in equity, and there couldn't be a better person really to represent them than Jean.
Do you usually vote in the council elections? When that envelope comes through your door, what do you do?
As somebody who is very interested in politics and activism, I do read all the profiles, even for the ones I'm not eligible to vote in. I'm just curious who stands, where they're coming from and why they want to do what they do. So I'm afraid I do read the whole booklet and look at all the faces, and I do vote.
How do you decide who to vote for?
I think it's about the best person for the job, where they're coming from, what their experience is and why they want to do it.
Yeah, we have for a couple of years, haven't we?
A couple of years now, yes.
Yeah. Maybe you know more about me through equity stuff?
Yes, absolutely.
Madeline Matters? No.
Muriel Matters.
Which was at Australia House, wasn't it? When Stephen Spence...
Yes, and I came over and said to you, yes, because I knew of Jean's work and of her campaign. I voted for you before in the equity elections, and I was really pleased to see that there was somebody who was openly speaking about issues that were really important and that was aware of kind of current debates and campaigns and was taking a stand, and that meant a lot to me. So when I first saw you at that in Australia House, I was keen to come over and introduce myself.
I mean, I've got so inspired even more about it all, you know, working on the love letters between Ellen Terry and George Bernard Shaw, and of course, you know, Ellen's daughter Edie was really part of the Actresses Franchise League.
As was Ellen, yes. I think one of the things that I found really inspiring about the research is realising how present women were in West End theatre as makers, as creators, as managers. That they were differently abled, is what one of the academics calls it, because they didn't have the same access to networks of privilege, even financial networks, ways of getting money, but they were constantly creating and making work and creating opportunities for other performers and pushing the boundaries of...
Gosh, that's so like today. But there's all these kind of fringe movement desperately trying to be represented.
One of the things about, I think, for women in the industry now is that we don't know why these stories are so inspiring about, say, actresses in the suffrage movement, is that we don't know we have these tremendously strong shoulders to stand on. That there is a brilliant history of women throughout the 20th century and 21st century who have made work, who have been politically active, who have been just a part of the making of West End theatre.
We don't know about
theatre history.
Do we?
No, and part of that is because we lose their stories and their representation.
Yes.
So it's really important to look at equity, the membership, to look at the industry, to look at the audiences and say, actually, you know, women aren't in the minority in any of those categories.
Or in the union.
Absolutely.
Or in the union. I mean, we're half and half.
It's you, but the fact that there's been one, you know, other equity female president over the course of equity's year, founded in 1930, and there's been one for 2 years.
74 years ago.
Yeah, from 46 to 48. And apart from that, it's all been men. Now, that sort of looks like it's only on merit then, that there weren't any other women who were capable of that. And of course, actually, if we look at our theatre history, and in fact, the way that women's representation is modelled in all our politics, in all our lives, in positions of authority, we know that that's not the case.
No.
And women aren't in the minority.
And it brings in a different kind of feel sometimes. I mean, I think the presidency should be more diverse.
I think it's important for women to be visibly and audibly in positions of power, particularly in the industry. Of course, there are lots of women at all levels of the industry and in all levels of the theatre community, but often in the most visible levels, the place of creative and artistic control, they are not there. She's passionate about representation, and she's the right woman for the job.
Well, you see, the thing is that James Smith said it shouldn't be about she's the right woman for the job, she's the right person.
Yes, she's the right person.
Vote Jean Rogers for Equity President. She's informed, she's qualified, she's passionate, and she's the right person for the job. Tick. Vote for Jean Rogers for Equity President. She's informed, she's eminently qualified, she's definitely passionate, and she's the right there.
You were so good. Yeah.
Go for it.
Vote for Jean Rogers for Equity President. She's eminently qualified. Eminently is eminently a bit too... She's qualified, she's passionate, she's the right person for the job. Tick. Is that right?
Yeah.